What is up? This is Andy coming to you on a Saturday. This is like a festive Saturday, right? This is the Belmont Steak Saturday, where you get to go into your closet and pull out your 1600s Django dinner table attire and show up to the racetrack to get yourself a couple of tickets to bet on horses. You show up to that ticket window like Al Capone arriving to Ellis Island in your gangster attire and get yourself a ticket, and you bet on some horse named Razor Ramon or something like that. I don't know anything about it. I don't have that 1600s attire. All I have is my lone pastel shirt. This is my jack of all trades shirt. You invite me to Easter dinner, I gotta wear this. You invite me to the wine country, the vineyards, I don't know why you'd ever do that, but I'm gonna wear this. And you invite me to Belmont, I'm gonna wear this. You wanna know why? Because I'm not one of those jack of all sports. I'm an NHL guy and an NFL guy, and I would trust someone like that. Not that I'm telling you to trust me, you should always have to earn someone's trust. But I didn't like those people who were good at a lot of things, but great at nothing. I choose my two focus sports, and outside of that, I ain't betting on Razor Ramon the horse. I'm going to be betting on Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals, which we got going on tonight. Looking back at the last game, we had a great read on that game, and even going back further than that, before Game 1, what did I give you? I want the Knights up 2-1 after 3 games. Now that bet has hit, and as far as last game, the reads, both teams over 1.5, and despite the fact that everybody was probably on the Knights because of how they threw a beat down, I liked getting the Panthers at plus 1.5. Those 3.5 shots on goal props. Well, I'm really going to revisit that tonight. Remember how I ended the last video saying, I bet you if you took all those guys who were listed at 3.5, you took the unders on those, I bet you more unders hit than over. Well, they all hit. All of the 3.5s from last video, they all went under. It's hard to get 4 shots in a game, especially when you get games later in a series where maybe penalties are going to not be called as much. And I know that's ridiculous to say after last game, but that's even more of a reason to me why I think fewer penalties will be called, because it was off the charts regular season penalties called last game. So looking at this Game 4, the first thing that I'll tell you is after a 2-2 game that went into overtime and a million penalties called, you gotta think it gets rolled back tonight. And we get much more of a close checking, tight playoff game, and there's a huge reason for that. And that would also be because of Sergei Bobrovsky. Don't kid yourself, Vegas could have won that game 4-1 to 5-1. When that game was 2-1, Bobrovsky made a number of saves just to keep the Florida Panthers alive. Florida was dominated in the third period. They got nothing. They got nothing until the very end. And let's be honest, through 3 games, as predicted, Vegas is the much better top-to-bottom team. The ultimate equalizer was, has been, which is the same thing as was, is, and will be Sergei Bobrovsky. And the crazy thing is he regained most of that previous round form in the last game. And the whole question to me is, once again, if he plays like that, that's how they can win. He doesn't play like that, welcome to another loss for Florida. That's what I think we're going to be looking at for this Game 4. And I just want you to remember, every single time we thought that Vegas was potentially on the ropes a little bit, think about last round, they lost 2 games in a row to Dallas. Dallas coming home with full momentum. They got absolutely stomped. Vegas has outplayed Florida in all 3 games this series. The last game, the one deciding factor was Bobrovsky. Even going back earlier into the Edmonton series, every time you thought, oh my God, Edmonton just threw them a beating, 6 power play goals in a game. Well, they responded, haven't even been pushed to an elimination game. They're great in responding in these games. This game, once again, can potentially go either way, but because of the way that Vegas has always responded well, I would prefer to have Vegas plus 1.5. The same way last game, I preferred to have Florida plus 1.5. Now, because I do not think that penalties are going to be called left and right, I think probably my favorite bet, with Bobrovsky playing the way he is, this looks like it's going to be another one of those 2-2 in the thirds, I believe. We've had 2 of those this series. 2 of these games, and there's only been 3, despite the fact that it looks lopsided because it was 5-2 in Game 1 and then a beatdown in Game 2. Game 1 was 2-2 in the third. And by the end of the third, it was 2-2 in the third in the last game. So I would not be surprised if we found ourselves in a similar circumstance, which is why I would like to take the Vegas Golden Knights plus 2.5 with under 6.5. So in case they're on the wrong side of a third period goal or something like that, it goes 3-2, they get an empty netter 4-2, you still cover. But I like the Knights plus 1.5, but in that particular same game parlay, plus 2.5 with the under 6.5. And obviously, if you get same game parlays on this particular channel through me, you're going to get a couple of Caesars same game parlays, and you can also still get the Caesars promotion where your first bet on Caesars, if you sign up on the platform and you're over 21, is risk-free up to $1,250. So I'm about to give you a Caesars same game parlay. I hope it hits, but if it doesn't hit, you're going to have a free bet credit waiting in your account for $1,250. And that's a pretty good deal, so you should probably go register over there. But like I said, over 21, you got to be in a state or province where sports betting is permitted. And if you are a degenerate, it's no shame to admit it. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Somebody will be there to help you with that gambling problem. Now, looking at other bets within this game, what I just mentioned to you about those shots on goal, I want to take that same theory and apply it to this game. We got 5 guys I saw. I just want to exclude Sam Bennett for whatever reason. This guy just rakes up 5 shots every game. So other than Bennett, let's go under 3.5 shots on goal for all those names. Marchessault, another game with 3 shots. Eichel had 3 shots. Tkachuk had 3 shots. Verhaeghe had 3 shots. All of them, even with the overtime, couldn't eclipse 3 shots on goal. Or I'm sorry, 4 shots on goal. They all got to 3. But none of them got to 4. And now they upped Montour, who, I mean, he got semi-injured in the last game. His shots on goal for this game is 3.5. So I'm taking the under on all 5 of those guys, 5 guys. My prediction is at least 3 of those guys do not go over on those shots on goal. What's my particular favorite on that one? Well, how about we go to Caesars, do a same gamer, plus 1.5 for the Vegas Golden Knights, and then give me the under 3.5 shots for a defenseman in Brandon Montour. I know he joins the rush. I know he's a shoot-first kind of guy from the point, but 4 shots is a lot, and maybe, just maybe, he had a little injury in that last game because he didn't come out to start overtime, left in the third period. So, I don't know, that could be a weird little advantage. Maybe he's going to try to play through something. Anything to give us a half an advantage is a good thing on a Saturday like today. So, we can do that for a same-game parlay. I do think anytime you're dealing with the Vegas Golden Knights defense, it's not easy to rack up shots on them, as you saw in the last game. I will take the under 29.5, I believe the saves are, for their goaltender, Aiden Hill. And obviously, last game, the Marchessault point came through. This guy, a stick does not get hotter than his stick currently is. So I obviously have to kind of, if you added him to that last same gamer that I gave you, plus 1.5 for Vegas, under 3.5 for Brandon Montour, and then you could even stick in Jonathan Marchessault to register a point. That is what I got for you here on this Saturday. I mentioned in that last video, I said I wouldn't be surprised if Florida is able to get Game 3 and Vegas win Game 4. That's where my gut is leaning. I guess we will see what happens. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. You know the deal. Make sure you subscribe to this Odd Shopper channel here, because that's where you're going to get these videos from me, but not just me. You got these other great guys out here putting out great content about the MLB. I went in that room the other day. I said Ruben Sierra. There's all sorts of fun going on the baseball front. Then also subscribe to Odd Shopper Premium, where you can get those Bunker Area 51 picks, advanced stats and analytics. They could probably even tell you what horse is coming out today. They're going to tell you if Razor Ramon has a good shot of winning the race. And then obviously follow me on social media. It's at Andy Francis, the same way you see right somewhere around there. And I will be back with you before Game 5. Good luck.